Jacob Stevens, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
Good, good. Hey, man, I know that there was a little bit of controversy on this Works round seven in Utah. The social media posting that they did was awesome. The facility looked great. They had a lot of cool stuff there, but the race just didn't seem to turn out the way that everybody expected.
Yeah, I think there was just a little bit of controversy with the conditions of the track. I think just with the dust and how the vision was just down a lot. I know I heard that complaint from a lot of riders, and I'm sure the Works Series did everything they could to keep the track watered. But from what I was told, it was just a lot of silt and you know dry dirt. So definitely makes race conditions difficult when you can't see in front of you. If you don't get a good start, it's detrimental to the race for sure.
Yeah. Um, why do you think? Because this isn't the first time that we've heard of them having an issue with watering. Do you think it's lack of equipment, or is just something going on?
Um,
Maybe they're unprepared.
I don't know. I don't know if it's. I'm not really sure. I think the type of dirt definitely has a lot to do with it because a couple of the tracks that we go to, it's just the dirt's really dry and it feels like even you go watch them water the track 50 times in you know a few hours, it just doesn't seem like the water ever soaks up that dirt. It just kind of layers a top coat on the dust, and then as soon as you break through it, it's just real dusty again. So I don't know if it's just they're struggling with the type of dirt. In Utah, obviously the other dusty race was Cedar City. So maybe it's just a type of dirt that they're struggling with, and these big tracks, and I'm sure that it's just kind of difficult to get the equipment to water such large tracks, especially something like this. I mean, I was looking at the laps, and the pro class only did 6 laps, and that's a pretty big track to only do 6 laps in 90 minutes.
Yeah, that is. What was the lap time? Do you have that in front of you?
Looks like the fastest on the day was Damon at 14:39.2. So just almost 15 minutes a lap.
That's a long time.
Yeah, that's a long that's a long lap. Real long lap. I think in my works career, I don't think I've ever even been in the 12s. So,
And that puts you at fueling at the hour mark because you're not going to make it another lap
yeah.
and
You
you want
actually
to
probably
fuel.
would have to. Yeah, no, you probably have to fuel up right at the hour, or even if not earlier, depending on how the lap times worked out.
You could fuel on the third lap and run out of gas after the finish line.
Yeah, I guess pushing it to that hour would. I'm sure it was a tough one to figure out what lap you're gonna fuel.
Man, that there's a little bit of strategy went in there. Let's just get into the nuts and bolts of it. You know, the women's pro class, Tory Matajich makes it, perfect again. So she's won seven in a row, not counting her streak from last year. And so she's pretty much dominant. You know, Layne Fryar was on in the second spot, and Donna was in the third.
Yep.
So I mean, that's kind of the way that most people would figure the class would work out. Um, but Tori seems to just be ripping it up.
Yeah. No. She's been killing it. The last season, going into this season, and just completely dominating the women's pro class. I think these girls after the break, um, you know, probably got a probably got a little bit of a taste for what more they have to work on. To catch her, compete with her. So hopefully a couple of these girls, take it seriously and, go back to the drawing board and figure out what they need to do to improve.
Yeah, you never know what's going on.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know. I don't know what the finishes were. You didn't by chance see any intervals, did you? when you were
No,
looking at the results?
I did not. Did not.
We'll have to I'll have to check that and look when I write the report that gets put next to this. So good job, Tori. Keep it up.
Yeah.
You got 2 more rounds to make it perfect.
Go out there and try your best. See what happens.
Yeah, Kinsey Osborne made it perfect in motocross, so
Mm-hmm.
that'd be pretty nice if Tori could match that.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
You know, the A classes ran strong with the open A and the production A, and those are the feeder classes for your pro am. you know, with Cole Fryar had a good day on Saturday, but he didn't have such a good day on Sunday.
Yeah. From what I heard, he ended up breaking down on the first lap. Couldn't get the bike fixed. I don't know if it was a motor problem or, maybe I think it might have been a broken axle or um something along those lines where it was, something that they weren't able to fix in the pits and unfortunately he had to take a DNF on the weekend in Pro Am. But yeah, he's down in points right now. He's definitely got a little bit of a hole to dig himself out of if he wants a shot at this championship.
Yeah, because he's 21 points back with 2 rounds, and to make that much ground up, that's 10 and a half points per race.
Yeah.
Granted, you get half points in Worcs, but um, you're not making 10 and a half points up. You have to have massive help, and unfortunately,
Yeah.
Gage would have to have a
Yeah.
failure of some sort, and you
Yeah.
don't wish that on anybody.
Yeah. No, for sure. I say for Cole, just if I were him, I just put my head down, race the races out, try to win them both, and wherever the points lay out, they lay out. But it's definitely gonna be something for Gage that he needs to keep in mind on just finishing out with consistency and locking down this championship. And for Cole, I just say go give it all you got.
Right. Yeah, he has nothing to lose at this
Yep.
point. He could win out and still end up with the number two.
Yep. But at least he did his best.
Right. They had some freestyle ramps up there at
I
that
did see
facility.
that. Yep. I saw a couple of the pros got to jump him a little bit. I don't know. I think that was on Saturday after practice. They got to ride the freestyle ramps for a little bit.
I could have swore I saw Travis Damon doing it on the ATV and
Yep.
a motorcycle.
Yep. I did see that.
That guy is something else, isn't he?
Yeah. He's not. He's nothing like I've ever seen before in my whole career.
Well, he did he stop racing the big bikes?
Yeah, no, he did. He's not racing pro dirt bikes anymore. He's racing the
Yeah,
Pro
he's racing Pro
125.
125s.
Yep. And I think he's just doing that for fun. I think he really wanted to focus mainly more on the quad portion of his
Mhm.
racing right now. And I think he's just doing the 125 for fun. He gets a taste of the track. He gets to ride a little bit more than just your normal quad guy. He's getting on the track double the amount of time as somebody like me that wouldn't race bikes. So it's definitely he's going out having a good time. He gets to learn the track a little bit better, and if anything, it's an advantage going into the pro race.
Right. I agree. I mean, yeah, because he gets to see the track. Bo's still riding the dirt bike, isn't he?
I think so. I think he does both. I'm not sure if he did this weekend. I didn't see any results on his bike. I know he rode the side by side, but normally he does ride his bike.
Yeah, he got third in the side by side and third
Yep,
in the
third in the
pro
ATV.
class.
Yep.
And Max Lindquist made it out from the East Coast, or
Mm-hmm.
well, Wisconsin's not the East Coast, but you
He's
know,
in Denver actually. He's been
well,
staying in
that's where
Denver.
he's staying in Denver, but he's from
Yep.
Wisconsin.
Yep.
Yeah, and he's out. He came out to race, and I guess he was running in the top three until he had a semi-mechanical or a dust related failure,
Yep.
stopping him from being able to finish.
Yeah. From what I heard, I read his post on social media. He kind of just said that he had a bike started to act up a little funny, and he didn't want to take the risk of breaking it. Obviously, he's not in points, so he decided to pull off a couple laps early. He was
Yeah,
running
he
in third though. From what I heard, he was riding really well. He was holding a good pace, so it's unfortunate that he had to pull off and couldn't finish it out.
right. Um, in Bo's post, he mentioned that he had a gait problem.
Yes. I did hear about that as well. I guess it was Bo and somebody else on the inside. I don't know if it was, I don't know, maybe Cody Stanford or Logan Huff or somebody like that. I guess they had a two of them on the inside gates, and then the rest of them went outside of the doghouse, and the right side dropped, and I guess the left side like twitched and had like a delayed drop. So I guess by the time, you know, the rest of the field was about 4 or 5 bike lengths already down the whole shot, that's when the gate finally dropped and they came out dead last, which is just,
Wow.
yeah, it's kind of crazy. Super unfortunate luck. And, I guess with a 15-minute lap time, it's kind of hard to red flag a race or restart a race. Um, so, I mean, I guess they just made the judgment call to let it run.
Well, with a lap time that long, generally in a normal condition, in normal race conditions, which from what I'm hearing, this was not normal race conditions.
Right.
Um, did you get a layout or a figure in that 15-minute or 14-minute lap time? What the portion of motocross track was? Was it like
I
minute
believe it was only,
maybe?
yeah, it was probably, I would say probably a minute and a half, maybe a minute 45. I'm not sure if they used the whole motocross track or not, but it was probably about a minute and a half, I would assume.
Man, so that's not even that doesn't give Bo enough time to change the advantage, and with a
Yeah.
15-minute lap time, they probably didn't start lapping riders until the third lap, maybe.
Yeah, probably, I would assume, yeah. Third or fourth.
Yeah, because it was probably the third lap is when they got to lappers.
Yeah.
Bo had to eat dust because Lindquist made it. He made it quite a few laps before he had an issue.
Yeah, he pulled off, I guess, a little bit after lap 4, or he went across for lap 4. So he completed 4 of the 6 laps. But yeah,
Yeah,
he
so
was riding well too. That's bummer.
and I'm yeah, because he's made huge changes to the machine
Mm-hmm.
to get through the off-road style racing.
Yeah.
Trust me, him and I have had a lot of off the record conversations about setting up his works bike and
Yeah.
making changes. Granted, it's all on his team to do whatever they do.
Yeah.
Him and I just get to throw stuff back and forth and
Yeah.
talk about it. So there's no credit on my end for anything he's done. Just asking opinions
Right.
and talking about different theories and all kinds of stuff. Max is a good guy to
Yeah.
enjoyable to talk to. Like you when you start asking questions and we bounce theories back and forth
Yeah.
against each other. You know, because you've been racing a number of years and
Yeah.
dealt with numerous different people in the
Mm-hmm.
industry.
Yeah.
So
For sure.
yeah,
Yeah, for
it's a
sure.
lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to getting to talk to you guys about those setups.
Yeah.
So I'm hopefully um Works has got 2 rounds to go. So does cross country. Do you think it gives enough time for Fowler and those guys to come back out and race the last round? Do you know?
I don't know, but I do know that GNCC, they race just about every other weekend, I believe. And I know the last race for Works isn't until end of October.
Thought
No,
it was
even
in
maybe
November.
if it's in November. Yeah. So yeah, they'll probably be done by then. I mean, East Coast is too cold by the middle of October to go racing. So they'll probably be done by then. I would assume Ironman, which I believe is the last round, it's probably within the end of, like, before the end of October. So they should have time to come back out if they, decide to make the trip back out.
Yeah, I think Fowler may have a machine with Ellis, and Ellis doesn't live that far from Prim, depending
Yeah.
on where the last round is.
Um,
Um,
yeah, I'm not sure what happened with that. I don't know if it is Prim anymore or not. It could be, but I think there was some confusion with it. It
Taft?
might be Taft. I think it's Taft.
Yeah, and they're still having the banquet though in
at Prim.
Vegas.
Yep.
I thought it was Vegas. I
Is
didn't
it
think
in
they were having.
Vegas?
Yeah,
It might be in Vegas, yeah.
I saw a flyer on it, um, but I didn't I didn't read it all the way.
Right. Yeah, it might be
Maybe
in Vegas. I didn't hear anything about it.
yeah, that's what I get for paying attention and reading everything that they send, which you're supposed which I'm
Right.
supposed to do, right?
Yeah. I should probably know better.
Yeah, you should because you're the guy. You're supposed to know everything, buddy, right?
That's
No?
right, I
Yeah.
guess. I is that how that works?
Yeah, you're my guy. You're supposed to know everything.
I don't know anything about the banquet. That's all I don't know. I believe the last round is in Taft though.
Um, Mesquite is round 8 in October 6th.
Yep, and then it's Taft in the beginning of November. Or is it the end of October?
Um, well, I don't have that.
Unless they haven't updated it yet or scheduled it. Maybe it's, you know what? I think it's the end of October.
Yeah, we're probably going to have to say that that's what it is, and that it's. I think it is Taft.
Yeah, I think it is Taft. 'Cause my parents were talking to me about it a little bit because obviously they're doing the food and the shirts and stuff. I believe it's the end of October. So yeah, maybe the GNCC guys won't be able to make it out.
Yeah, I'm not sure. That's crazy, but back to the. Let's get to the pro class.
Yeah.
Bo has the problem with the gate. In his social media post, he was the last one through the first turn.
Yep. Yep. He came
You
out
know,
absolutely dead last. He definitely had his work cut out for him, and obviously with the conditions, with the dust and everything like that, those are hard conditions to come back from, especially with a bad start, eating all that dust, and let alone one guy in front of you dusting you out. You have seven people in front of you dusting you out, so um, definitely probably was a little bit of a challenge to catch up. I'm sure he did his absolute best, and we all know Bo when Bo is determined. Usually he comes back in moments like that. But Braxton and Travis were riding great, from what I heard. Looks like Travis had the fastest lap time of the weekend. Um, so yeah, it was definitely an interesting race. Braxton pulled a whole shot, led start to finish.
what was the intervals between Braxton and
Um, it looks like Travis finished about a minute 10 behind Gross, and Bo finished about 20 seconds off of Travis's his total time.
ooh.
Yeah, so
So
Bo was
Travis
coming.
probably backed off a little bit to get out of the
Yep,
dust,
yep.
and Bo was pushing through the dust.
Mm-hmm. Probably caught up a little bit. He was right there. Um, Definitely would have been interesting if it was a little bit of a longer race, but
Well, when you had Lindquist there in the top three, and then you had Huff probably in fourth,
mm-hmm.
Bo's fighting those five guys because Huff probably wasn't
He was
was
only about a minute off Bo at the finish, so I'm sure he was right there for a while.
yep.
And Max was there. He was in third for 4 laps, so I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
Bo
it
may
was
not
probably
have
a lot.
gotten Bo may not have gotten Logan to the last lap.
Or even Max, if Max wouldn't have pulled off, who knows?
You may not have gotten Max.
Yeah,
If Max was as good as he could have possibly been, he might have gotten Travis.
yeah, definitely possible. Definitely possible. But I think the man of the hour is Braxton Gross, just putting himself in the best position on the track and riding consistent race and taking home the win for the second
That
time
young,
this season.
that young man is he's growing.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still picturing the little Braxton Gross. He's not a little Braxton Gross anymore.
No.
He either looks me in the eye or almost taller than me.
Yeah.
You know, he's starting to get some size and some strength. Between him and Travis, they have a formidable duo there, battling back and forth as Travis learns how to ride a quad, and Braxton grows into becoming a
Hmm.
man. Um, those two are going to throw some punches together
Yeah,
for
for
quite a
sure.
while.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's gonna be a good racing to come, and I think if Braxton keeps doing what he's doing, learning, taking those bad races, I don't think anybody obviously expected him to come out this season and win races. So, take those wins and, take the bad races and, I hope he takes them back to, training and maturing and, getting better and better as he grows. And then Travis is only going to keep getting better because, we all know he's only been on a quad for a few years and it's definitely gonna be good.
Yeah, this is his first year on the Yamaha, I believe, or is
Yep,
it
first
second?
year on the Yamaha, so he's definitely getting used to the bike still, and let alone a quad in general, and it's showing. Obviously, as time goes on, Travis just he keeps getting better.
Yeah, and you can never take anything away from Bo,
Oh, of
but we
course.
do have to talk about, do you think Bo's coming back for 24? I mean,
I,
that'll be 11
I mean,
titles.
yeah, I mean, I would assume that he would, but at the same time, I think it's the same question everybody asks every year. Is it going to be his last? Is it going to be his last? And he just keeps coming back. So I think, if it's something that he's going to want to do again, and obviously if the money's there and everything works out how it's been working out, I don't see him walking away quite yet. But I mean, hey, you never know. He could be at a point where he's just ready to
I,
be done.
he has pure love of the sport, which when you have pure love of the sport, you keep doing it. And I don't think tactically Travis and Braxton have what Bo has between his ears.
Right.
Bo may lose a step or two,
Yeah.
but he's still a tactician
He
and
is
he's
still he knows exactly what to do at every race, every situation, and unfortunately this season he's definitely had his work cut out a little harder because obviously bad things that happen at the races for him, or Travis and Braxton just being fast and um but he still can beat them. Obviously he's proven many times this season that he's still a top dog, and obviously that's not going to go anywhere.
well, he's also developing basically a new machine for himself. Yes, it's
Yeah.
still a Honda platform, but it's a new motor development with that motor package. You have to change your shock package to work, and I don't believe that him and Doug have done enough testing to make that machine work the way Bo wants it to.
Yeah, I think so. Actually, I'm not sure if he even rode his hybrid this weekend. I don't know if he was back on a production bike or not. I know he switched back to one before the break, but I don't know if he brought it out again, or not. But yeah, for sure, he's definitely had a little bit of a learning curve with machines this year. Obviously, switching up his program like that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming that he's got to put more effort into the development of that machine because it's going to get harder and harder to get parts for the 450Rs.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Hondas.
And I think that's the goal that everybody's reaching for. So obviously we'll see how the development of that bike goes on. Obviously for desert racing, I know they got them pretty figured out for motocross, but desert racing's a whole different game.
Well, Works style racing.
Yeah.
As long as Yamaha keeps making their machine, um, there's no issues. But you got to figure 2024 is the last year you can ride a Honda in the XC class.
Yep. Is that yeah,
They have a 10-year rule.
yeah. That might be the same for ATVs or motocross. It's AMA. It's probably I think that's the same. think that's why everybody's switching.
No, because they let um they run Suzuki's,
Oh yeah, that's right. They do have a Suzuki in their class.
and 2020 would have been 10 years. Supposedly they had a 2010 model, which nobody ever
Right.
seen it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. So it's only, I guess, only GNCC. But that'll be crazy. A lot of GNCC riders still ride Hondas.
There's three in the pro class, but in the lower classes there's more.
Yeah.
And I don't know of many hybrids. That Walsh KTM 300 was built as a cross country bike, and that's obviously going to be ridden in one of the lower classes.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't even know that. That's crazy.
Well, the two machines that are sold is the 700 and the 450 Yamaha.
Yeah.
You know,
Everybody's gonna
and,
switch to
and
Yamaha.
technically you can run the 700 in the open A class, but you can't run it in the other classes.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
all of your, like, your 30 plus, 40 plus, 50 plus, you can run a 700 in it. I don't think
Yeah.
there's a CC limit in the women's pro class.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Um, yeah, that's kind of crazy that it's gonna switch like that. Yeah, I had no idea about the whole Honda rule out for years, and I guess we'll all have to see what happens. I wonder if they'll change it just because of so many riders having Hondas.
I don't think they're going to. Not an XC. I don't think they're going to change it.
That's crazy. You think it'll just apply to pro, or you think it'll apply to the whole
I
series?
don't think it applies to the whole
Just
series,
pro.
but I could be wrong.
Could be a production rule. Yeah, I'm not sure. That would be crazy.
I'm I understand the loyalty to Yamaha, but they could end up taking the production rule away and the 10-year rule away, and people could start riding older machines,
Yeah,
or bring hybrids in.
yeah. I think that's what eventually is going to get to the point where hybrids are just going to be allowed. And it's going to, I mean, I think it's inevitable. I think it's something that is going to happen eventually, whether it happens in the next couple seasons or, 5 or 6 or 7 seasons from now. But I think at some point, hybrids will be in the pro class for sure.
Yeah, I totally agree. I know that some other developments going on in the desert series, because they need a bike to replace the Honda.
Yeah.
I don't believe that it's going to be the Yamaha 450.
Yeah. At least a lot of people aren't going to like them like they do their Hondas. There's definitely their pros and cons to
They
riding both machines.
I don't, I know that you listen to some of the guys and they say the rear shock doesn't work the same on the Honda. I didn't hear any of this until Joel said it. Okay. But my deal is the year before he started saying the shock didn't work, the guy there was a different guy working on a shock.
Yep.
He wasn't complaining, and he won a
Yeah.
championship.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then he
it's very
changed
true.
those guys and didn't win a championship.
Yeah, that's very true. I personally, with my experience with both, I have had better luck with suspension or better just feel for the bike. But I mean, everybody likes different things about, how bikes are set up. And, for me, I think that it was more comfortable for me. Um, there's just, it's just a different kind of style of riding when you switch to a different brand like that. Two different machines that act two completely different ways, and I just feel like some people are gonna love them and some people are gonna hate them.
Yeah, I'm not against either. I just don't think that the Yamaha works as good in the high speed desert environment as a Honda does.
Yeah, I mean the Honda's definitely a big. It definitely is a good bike for the desert. Um, I think that obviously Yamahas are still like the people that ride the I mean, when I was racing last season and throughout my learning of Works alone, I was learning about how to better the bike in that series. And I think, Travis is trying the same things, and Logan Huff. Um, I think they're trying to get the bike there. I think there's potential for the bike to be equal to the Honda in a lot of the desert racing. I just don't think the development is there quite yet. I
Yeah, I
mean,
don't think
people have
there's-
been
I
people
don't-
have been riding Hondas for, you know, 15 years in Works, and how many people rode Yamahas
yeah,
until
we were
now?
just, when I was working with Sloan,
It was all
the last
Hondas.
year, yeah, we raced, but well, we won in 18 on a Yamaha,
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
19, he got second, and then he, went a different direction in 20. So we were still developing the platform
yeah,
for off road, and
yeah.
I think it would have gotten better and better. It's
Oh, for
just
sure. Yeah, for
with
sure.
linkage and with rear linkage and different shock links. We were there were so many different things that we were changing and coming up with.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I definitely have done my fair share of tweaking, on my machine to get it better and better each round, and I think we were getting better and better each round with the bike. So yeah, I think that it's just going to take a little bit of work for the people that are on Yamahas. I think that out here you're going to see a lot less change, and out east, I mean, we've already seen a lot of change. There's only, I don't even there's not even a Honda in the pro class, I don't think, out east. Maybe
Yeah, there
one.
was
Cesar Jimenez, I think, rides one. But
Jimenez, and he may not be back next year.
yeah, I think everybody else besides Michael Smith, he rides a Suzuki, and everybody else rides Yamahas now. Everybody.
I think
I mean,
so. I think right.
Wesley and Brandon Hogue were the only two last year that rode Hondas, and obviously Caesar,
Switched.
and they switched. So,
Yep.
you know, I don't think you'll
And
see it
Western
out here. Obviously, I think Braxton's going to stay on a Honda. I think Bo's going to stay on a Honda. Um,
uh,
I think Cody and
Braxton
Stanford's are going to
Braxton's
stay
going
on
to have to
Hondas.
make, but Braxton and Cody are both going to have to make decisions.
Yeah,
They're going to either have to go hybrid.
or go Yamaha.
Yep.
Yeah,
I mean, I know that Bo's leading the way and doing a lot of that entry level testing, but I mean, it's inevitable.
yeah,
They're going to have to make a change.
100%, 100%. Which is, I think, why Travis made the change this year, because I think he knew he was going to have to make a change, and no better time to start making a change than as soon as possible, so you could just get better over time.
Exactly. I agree with that.
So
I
definitely,
totally agree.
it's definitely gonna be an interesting next 2024 for racing four wheelers. I'm excited to see what comes.
Aren't we all, brother? Aren't we all? With Braxton Gross winning, Travis Damon second, and Bo Barron third. Logan Huff got fourth. Um, Cody, I believe, was fifth,
Yep.
and
Max was set sixth. Michael Harris and Austin Turner.
yeah, that's it.
Yep.
So what a turnabout, and Mesquite is always awesome. I love it. I hope that more of the East Coast guys come out. Mesquite is always one of those awesome tracks. As much as you hated to go there, you loved to go there because
Yeah.
it was a fun track to ride, but it was also a very difficult track to ride.
Yeah. Very difficult. Easily, in my opinion, one of the hardest tracks we go to. So it's gonna be a good race for sure.
Yeah, I mean, Havasu and Mesquite to me are by far the hardest two,
Yeah, and
roughest.
if I'm being completely honest with you, I think Mesquite is a more difficult and more physically demanding track than Havasu is. And I know Havasu is still one of those tracks that is just absolutely brutal for 90 minutes, but I think Mesquite is harder. It's tougher. It's longer. It's a tough track. In
And
my
it changes
experience,
every year.
Yeah, it seems to get worse and deeper every year we go there. It gets deeper and deeper.
We raced there um after a big rain or a
Mhm.
lot of weather,
Yep.
and the washes that you ran through had like Volkswagen sized whoops.
Mhm. Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
that's
you
how it
would
was.
disappear at
We
the.
w Last season we went there maybe a week after a huge rainstorm and the track was so deep. I mean, you could walk in those whoops and they would just about be up to your chest. They were absolutely huge. It is by far the gnarliest race we go to.
I agree. Yeah, I don't think it's. I still think Havasu is.
Oh yeah, Havasu is still insane. I think the difficult part with Havasu is it's extremely rough, it's extremely turny, and it's extremely short. So the race feels like it goes on forever.
And the debris that comes off the tires
Yeah.
destroys the machine.
Yep.
So
Absolutely. Absolutely.
gnarly stuff there, brother.
Oh yeah.
We'll catch you October 5th
Mhm.
for the pre-race on Instagram. And are you going to get to attend that race, do you think?
Mesquite?
Yes.
Yes, I will be at Mesquite. I probably won't be there until Saturday morning, but I will be at that race for sure.
Nice, nice, nice.
Yep.
That's awesome. Hey, Jacob, thank you very much for giving us your time and giving us your take on Works Round 7. We appreciate it.